Okay, so I'm Elysia Arntzen. Most of you, well, okay, just I think all of you have met me at some point.
If I don't know you, there's issues.
Yeah. Okay, so I'm going to do a little bit of structured talking, and then I will let you guys talk. So the biggest thing I want to say is this is the fifth time I'm running for this office. I've wanted this since I was a sophomore here, which is probably before a lot of you guys were even here. I've been planning a game since then. The DNA of that game has stayed the same, storylines the same, but things have changed. I mean, I have learned a lot because I've seen more games than most people at this point. So with that being said, there's a few things that I'd like to just kind of, explain that you guys might have questions about, and I'm going to be proactive about it. Schedule for this game. I'm looking at a weekend game. I would like it to be Thursday to Sunday. The reason for this being that if you started too early in the week, you have no one coming out at the beginning of the week. And, that kind of sucks for those people who are in class. Then, if you go through Monday or Tuesday, which is very common, you also end up with that problem where people have classes that night or they have classes in the morning. I feel like ending the game on a Sunday allows for the Thursday to Sunday, people are going to miss minimal school. They're going to not feel like, oh, I have to stay out of the game because I have stuff to do. This also allows, and this is something that I've believed since I first got here, the more humans you have at the end, the more awesome that last mission's going to be. We saw this last game, you still had quite a bulk of humans, and, well, I mean, they still kind of died really quickly, but the more people you have, the better at that last mission. It's not, I mean, I actually prefer playing zombie, but, the more half and half you can be, the better. So short game, I essentially have the schedule of when I want missions to be already. I'm not going to tell you when that is right now, but it's jam-packed with missions. It's a weekend that's like, you might have at least 2 missions on Saturday kind of thing. So aside from that, help. As far as how many people I am going to be needing for this game, I plan on having a team of 4, including myself, so me and 3 other moderators. I plan on having only 3 NPCs. That is all the characters I need. I don't need this to be this gigantic, like opera production type thing. My Dusk Till Dawn is kind of a production. It's more of a collaboration. I'm allowing everyone to kind of throw me ideas. This, however, is extremely simple, extremely, it doesn't take a lot to run this. Okay, so that's help. 3 other mods, 3 NPCs. I will be holding applications for that. And I did not print out the handouts that I brought last year because most people I don't think looked at those anyway, but it is on my application. I did link that. Finally, props. This is something that every game tends to always spend a lot of money on these really awesome props a lot of the times. My game is going to be minimal on props. I have things like this. I have about 220 of these, although it's more like 219 and I can't find the last one. I have a lot of these. I plan on using a lot of cardboard, a lot of spray paint. I'm just going to take this game back a couple years to how we used to do things. The props are going to be less money and more creativity. I feel like you can do a lot with paint and cardboard. The most important thing is the game itself, not how much money I put down on props. Finally, last thing I'm going to say before opening this up to questions, I don't want to tell you guys too much about my story or my game right now. And as you all know, I am running Dusk Till Dawn. Dusk Till Dawn is going to make use of these little guys. A lot of it is actually just going to have Easter candy in it, so if you see eggs, you might be getting chocolate. But there are 19 blue ones. That's the one I think I'm missing as a blue one because that's a weird number. 19 blue ones that say spoilers on them. I'm not going to open this egg because you're going to find it somewhere. During the game, you can find these spoiler eggs. Some of them will be really obvious, like, oh, okay, that's in English, there's nothing weird about it. This is story for Alicia's game. And some of them are a little more cryptic. Some of them you might have to do some work, and then you figure something out about my game. So storyline stuff I'm keeping secret right now. Sample missions, I want to keep secret right now because I think it's fun to find that stuff out for yourself. And besides, you don't want to know stuff like 6 months in advance. Then that's no fun. So, any questions? Yeah.
I have two.
Okay.
One, will you be having training missions?
Oh, yes.
And two, what sets you apart from everyone else?
Well, okay, what sets me apart from everyone else? It's actually different what sets me apart from different players. I could say a couple days ago that I had the most experience out of everyone here. I can't say that anymore, although the one more experienced candidate we have has run a lot of things and has kind of had his time. I've seen just about every single game, even if I haven't played it. You know, I know exactly what's wrong with things. I know, you know, like what players have liked, because I've seen it all. So that, and then the other thing is just that, you know, I have wanted this for longer than a lot of you guys have even been here. So I'd like to think that I want it more, even though that's subjective. Yeah?
Having experience as a mod staff from this semester, there will be things that go wrong during missions. How do you plan? Do you have plans set up just in case things go horribly wrong?
Oh yes. Okay. And this is something that I'm obviously running Dusk Till Dawn at the moment. We have a few things that are going to help us with this. The first thing, which I posted on Facebook because I'm super proud of this thing, I created an encounter map of campus so that before we actually throw the game out, like, hey, it's April 20th and we're playing, we're going to do a tabletop version of this. I'm going to have my mods. I've actually kept myself out of doing any briefings or NPC work because I'm going to have my mods run the game, give their briefings to us with the tabletop, move their pawns, show me exactly where they want to go, say exactly what they're going to say. I'll say, hey, don't say it in that order, that's confusing. We're going to do essentially a dress rehearsal of the whole thing. On top of that, and I'm going to be throwing everything at them that could possibly go wrong. On top of that, we have a binder, probably a 3-ring binder. I haven't made them buy that yet, but essentially it's going to be some kind of notebook with everything they could possibly need. So all the briefings, how NPC mechanics work. It's essentially like a guidebook, but not like a lot of reading, mostly bullet points. I like bullet points. And then we're going to have maps where, here's where all these objectives are supposed to be. We'll have a person, going around putting things in exactly those spots, and it's all marked in everyone's binders. At the back of this binder, we're going to have communication codes. I think that a lot of times you have some issues with, if mods aren't communicating fast enough, or if one mod's trying to text you and you're on the phone, that causes issues. We're going to be using GroupMe, which is something that the humans loved during this past game. And we're going to have, at the very beginning, I can just kind of go through the process. The very beginning of the mission, I'll have the human mod start, say H, and then tell me how many people are there. You send that to the whole group. Next person, the zombies, say Z, however many zombies are there. And then that'll go to me, obviously both of them. I'll look at that, say, okay, do we keep this mission the same as it is now, or are there way too many zombies now, and do we need to pull back from the human objective? At which point, our objectives and props are all numbered. I can tell whoever's in charge of props for that particular mission, hey, only put out 1 through 3, don't put out 4. That help? Okay. I think Dustin was first. Or unless you had it up before,
okay.
I don't know.
I noticed this semester especially, we had 200 people at least registered, but I know we didn't have that many show up most of the time. And so when we were trying to figure out zombie versus human numbers, a lot of us would detract at least 20 from what we had the night before, and then we'd ask, like, well, we know not every zombie's going to show up because people rage quit. How do you plan to get more people involved per mission and try to get people to actually stay in the game even if they get taken down?
I'm going to try to leave space for your question. Part of this is going to be my schedule. I definitely want to keep it on the weekend for the sake of not having people quit because they're too busy. I think that the shorter you make that game, the easier it's going to be. Another thing that I'm going to do is, I think that, and you guys kind of did this in your game, not everything is going to be out in the field. There's going to be things that include like the forum or Facebook, so that people who absolutely can't go out are going to still be involved. And then they won't feel like, oh, well, I couldn't be involved the first night, I'm not going to go out the second night. I'm going to try to make sure that every single thing they need is posted online so that no one feels like they're being left out. Okay, I don't really have time to fully answer that. Do you want to talk later or something? Or is that good?
That's good for me.
Okay.
How will you fuck up the game?
You'll never
Flip
know.
that one in there.
That's a very important question.